Okay, I am going to record a couple of problems here. I want to demonstrate to you how you should be writing out some of these problems. I'm going to start by doing 5.1. The problem is very simple, but I want to show you the way that you need to be writing out these problems. As they get more complex later on, you will really need to be skilled at doing this writing of the problem. Excuse me. All right, so problem 5.1. We have two ropes connected. This is rope 2, this is rope 1. And we have a third rope and we're pulling here at 100 newtons at an angle of 30 degrees. Okay, next time I should not be recording these when it's so bright and sunny outside. Okay, the key thing you've been learning in these sections is that when you have no motion, then you know the sum of all the forces in the x direction are going to equal 0, and you know that the sum of all the forces in the y direction are going to equal 0. If there's no motion, there's no net force. Later, in a later chapter, you learn that if you have the summation of the forces in the x, if you have motion, it's going to equal the acceleration in the x direction. But for this one, we have no motion, so we have no acceleration. So it's pretty easy actually. You can tell that obviously the x component on this force is going to equal 1 and the y component on this one is going to equal 2. But let's write it out just to show you the method. So I'm going to start by summing the forces in the x direction. Okay, let's come over here. I'm going to draw this little triangle. If this is my 100 Newton force right here, this is 30 degrees. What is the vertical and what is the horizontal component? If you recall, it'll be 100. It's a cross, so it'll be sine of 30, and this will be 100 cosine of 30. Okay? So some of the forces in the x direction, be sure to watch your signs. To the right is positive. So let's look at all the forces we have. I'm going to have the component of this one. It's pointing to the right, so it'll be positive. So it'll be 100 cosine 30. And what else do I have? If I were to draw the free body diagram on this little point right there, I have T2, T1, and then of course the components on this one. So my other force in the x direction is going to be T1. It's pointing to the left, so it'll be negative. There's no motion, so it equals 0. So what does it show you again? The algebra is very simple. T equals 100 cosine of 30. Okay, and then you will solve this in a similar way for the y. But this is the way you need to be able to write it out. So let's do the y. So we'd have T2. How's that? Okay, that helps, I think, if I can hold it in the right spot. So we'd have T2 minus the vertical component of this, which is 100 sine of 30, and that one equals 0. And again, simple algebra, you can solve for what T2 is.